welcome to Animals Labs. Today we're back for the third installment of our dungeon series. We're going to be looking at the spider boss here, how he works, what his mechanics are, and ways to beat him. So firstly, let's just go in and show you how this boss works. So much like all other bosses, he's can't be crowd controlled, no hard CC or work on them. This one also receives less damage from poison, so you can't really poison chain him, and he's immune to heal reduction. He has a passive where he spawns 6 spiderlings, so we can have up to a maximum of 10, and they keep coming down each turn. He consumes all remaining spiderlings at the start of each turn. If he consumes spiderlings, he will not consume them the following turn. So like turn 1, when it goes full, he will kill all of his spiderlings. And then on turn 2 it doesn't. He heals by 3% for each spiderling consumed and gains a 10% attack for each spiderling consumed. So he has two attacks. First one is on a 4th turn cooldown, attacks all enemies, has a 70% chance of decreasing the turn meter by 30%. If a turn meter is fully depleted, he places a sleep debuff. So his accuracy is actually 200. So if you had 250 resistance, you are going to ignore that all of the time. And then his second one is attacks all enemies, decrease, and it increases if they have poison debuffs. So he just does a general AoE. Spiderlings, each of the spiderlings, it doesn't actually tell you here, but the spiderlings they attack a single target and do poison damage, and put poison up. So they're going to attack loads and loads of times. That's just a boss thing. There are a few ways to beat him. We'll just run through the end of it, and then I'll go through team comps. So this is a comp that I use for 20. Again, I'm limited by the champions I have available built at the moment, and the lack of silver. We're going for faction war 21 final one tonight for Lydia. But we have a tank. She's the correct affinity. Force tanks, Drexar is a free-to-play tank that you could get. We could use him if you wanted to see that, actually. Around somewhere, yeah. So he's a free-to-play option that you could get. Duck the Pierce can be any of your defense down champions. Again, you need to make sure he's the correct affinity. So in this one, he could be Force or Spirit. So I could use Team Lord, for example, but I don't. Obviously, we're trying to limit using legendaries. Then I have 2 Cold Hearts. Both are built out for high speeds, high accuracy. This one is in Relentless gear, 300 accuracy, like 190 speed. This one, just 4 broken sets, or what, an accuracy set, not really built up massively. 300 accuracy, 100 and something speed, built out crit rate, crit damage. So as you can see, Miscreate Monster, built out in Relentless, not particularly fast, not 100% crit rate. It builds into his shield, crit damage, accuracy, and Duck. Duck is pretty fast, crit rate, so that ability goes off, crit damage and accuracy. Again, I would say they're like mid to late, late game builds. General use gear. Didn't show you in full life still. Fast. Bit of accuracy, bit of resistance, 100% crit rate, very low crit damage. So not like end game builds. You could do 19, manual 19 if you need to. As you can see, I manualed it once, and then I've never gone back to it. You can use the cheese paragon strategy. But this team will be able to get you through all the way through. It should do, or something like this. You'll have to change the tank. As you can see, you put it through. Cold Heart is viable all the way up to 20 now. In fact, I will still use you in the 25 team. I'll show you in a minute. The defense down, big shields up. Miscreant Monster, you honestly can't go wrong. He's the MVP in this. Amazing champion he is. What you want to do if you can before turn 20, try and limit their 10-meter control. Put an Armiger if you've got him. 4 Armigers. Amazing fun comp to use. You've got the time to level up all of those guys. Stillborn Booyah works. You can put in Silov in a stun set for some crowd control. These are all valid options. As you can see here, this one doesn't take too bad. Goes through. This one is going to take about 2 minutes, to be honest. If you have the champions, you can build like a couple of what we call the 12-second, 10-second comps. Honestly, not what this video is about. But I'll give you them just so you're aware of them. If you have any Septimuses or 3 Cold Hearts or Royal Guards, do like a defense down into 4 Royal Guards and they'll go bang, 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 bang and kill it. And now with the AI controls, you can set it so that the Cold Hearts do theirs straight away. You need is essentially a defense down if you had a void one, so they always hit, or some alternate affinity, and then they need like 270 crit damage in each of them. Or you can do poison explosion, so an aerial or Xavier, build up loads of poison on there. You can see 1 minute 52. Got those through there. The alternate way of doing it is to use HP burn. So HP burn could work. Tyrant is the one I use. If you have Ultimate Gaelic, which I unfortunately wasn't around to get, you can use him. One of the ones, turn off Vault, find him. So this guy, he's now from the Doom Tower. I just got him this morning, but you could use him. He doesn't need to be booked to do this. And you can build like a comp like this. You could add 10-meter control into something like hers to try and 10-meter control the boss. She's probably not the best actually. She'll do weird 10-meter to the boss. She could work. Or Achak is really, it works really nicely in this comp. So you put him in, we'll go start. Essentially what you're trying to do is put down the HP bands on the boss and the spiderlings and let them just burn through his health bar. See, away we burn, away we burn. You just wait for the abilities to go round again. It's really well, after that first heal from the spider, you can see that this passive is now on cooldown for 2 turns. This is where if you're going to manual it through 19 or 20, this is where you, 18, etc. This is where you really want to do it, because you outwait the first heal essentially, and then you have 2 full turns to kill the boss before he comes down again. As you can see here, my guys are just doing too much damage because the spiderlings don't have a lot of health at this level. You could use Mordecai at this one, he works perfectly fine. If you're those of you who've got Ignatius, again, it's just about that, putting the HP burn out. I was fortunate enough to get Tyrant. One thing to note, Achak, I've seen a lot of people go, oh, I want to use him in here. He will put out the freeze debuffs. So, I mean, you can see there's about 1 million debuffs on these guys, but like this one here, the frozen. But see, when he uses his big wipe down, he doesn't put HP burn down because of the way the stats work. You can't trigger him anyway. Like in order to build him, you'd have to basically remove all of the pieces of gear for him to be able to do that ability. Yes, I want to sell that accessory. So this ability, it says on freeze debuff on enemies whose attack is higher than their defense. You saw all of the spiderlings had decreased attack on them, so their attack is still higher than their defense, even with that the case. Which means he's always going to put freeze out. So he isn't going to do a load of damage. He does use his passive in combination with someone whose HP burning is really good for healing your champions. And you can use him instead of the miscreated monster. As for the higher level versions, all about HP burn. You can't really use Cold Heart or Armigers because of his termite control. You'll be in here for a few hours. Honestly, exaggeration, but you get the idea. So we can probably use the same team here. We will just need to know we need a spirit tank. Who could we use as a spirit tank? I've got this guy's my spirit tank. Will work. Vogoth might be good fun. Should we try Vogoth? We'll just go in. We don't even need the defense down on this. Put someone else in just to do some fun other things. So this is something I will do. There's no reason not to stick in a Cold Heart, okay? Because she adds termite control, you can actually just use her to control the boss. And in auto, if I was putting this in, I would trigger the AI so that she doesn't do her AoE wave. So you see here, frozen, stunned, shielded up. Vogoth is taking all that damage. They're just HP burning. Heartseeker just lowers the Terminator a little bit longer here along the top, which means we get this in. Here you see he's got the additional passive where he only takes 10% of the debuffs or buffs, and Terminator reduction is reduced. This is the case with all bosses above 25. So we just got absolutely nuked by the nuke there, but I believe we should still be good. Tyrant doing his thing. As you can see, that one was a little bit close, not as safe as we would like, but still possible. Thing that I tend to normally use, like Pierce, and then I tend to use Sylar, or yeah, you could just use the 2 Cold Hearts. Just use the 2 Cold Hearts that we've got. See that one run through. This should work. The attack down is actually quite useful on these particular anything above 21 to 25. If you have a source of attack down, you almost always put those in. You can just see the difference that attack down has made is that my team are just not taking any more damage than they would do normally. We're going to lose a Cold Heart. She's got less HP, so remember when we reach back to that affinity targeting video, she's got less HP than everyone else, so she will get targeted. Much smoother run, however, as you can see. We just have to wait for Tyrant to get back round to his HP burn. And even there, look at the damage that the Cold Hearts are doing. It's not exactly terrible. Obviously, it will help speed up your run. I'm going to burn to death now. So that's a more reliable run. Again, my best time is about a minute. As I say, thank you for watching today's video. I ask that you like and subscribe. If you have any questions, reach out in the comments below. Until next time, we're going to do probably a patch note discussion, looking at the new patch notes in the new Fusion, what our thoughts are here, Mark. Have a good day.